Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bridge course in English Literature that is offered by the Department of English of Yashwant Mahavidyalaya, Nanded. In this video, we are going to talk about the types of prose writing. When we look at understanding what prose is, it is any written matter that is expressed in ordinary language as opposed to poetry that uses rhyme, meter, imagery to convey the ideas and emotions. Derived from the Latin word prosa, prose literally transforms into straightforward expressions. The Oxford English Dictionary describes prose as a composition of moderate length on any particular subject or branch of a subject, originally implying what of finish, but now said of a composition more or less elaborate in style, though limited in range. Sainsbury loosely describes prose to be the after dinner monologue of an interesting and well informed man. What a wonderful way of putting it. Locke's essay on human understanding, which is a lengthy philosophical, or Pope's essay on criticism or essay on man, or Macaulay's essays, or the humorous prose pieces of J.K. Chesterton, or maybe E.V. Lucas or A.G. Gardiner are all under the umbrella term of prose. In fact, prose can be a novel, essay, short story, drama, fable, fiction, folk tale, legend, biography, hagiography, literature, myth, saga, theme, or tragedy. Anything that is written in simple and straightforward language is prose. There are different types of prose writings, essays being one of them. A true essay, according to W.H. Hudson, is essentially personal. It belongs to the literature of self expression. Treatises and dissertations can be objective, but essays are always subjective. Essays can be aphoristic essays which aim at self revelation, as you find in Francis Bacon's essays, or the critical essays of the critics, as we find written by Spencer, Dryden, Wordsworth, or Eliot, or maybe the periodical or social essays that we could see of Joseph Addison or Richard Steele, or even maybe the character sketch writers like Hall, Overbury, Earle, and others. Another different type of prose writing is short story. A prose narrative that is limited to a certain word limit is defined as a short story. It generally includes descriptions, dialogues, and commentaries. However, one characteristic feature that distinguishes a short story from that of other kinds of prose is the concentration on a compact narrative with detailed character drawing. In general, short stories are believed to have existed decades back, even before the art of writing was known to man, in the form of storytelling. The oldest recorded example of a short story is considered to be the Egyptian tale, which is titled as The Two Brothers, dated around 3200 BC. Novel is a different type of prose writing. Similar to that of a short story, a novel includes uncertain information since it centers on different types of possibilities. However, the length of a novel is highly undecided due to the numerous characters and situations that are included in it. In short, a novel is a comprehensive narrative on a large scale in particular. Just like short stories, novels also have known to exist ever since literature came into existence. Amongst all the prose kinds, the novel dominates the industry both in terms of quality and quantity. Fable is the next type of prose writing. A fable is a short allegorical tale emphasizing on a moral or any principle of behavior. The characters of fables are usually animals that portray like human beings, though they keep their animal traits intact. The moral of these fables is very important and is highlighted towards the end of the story. in the form of a proverb or maybe is generally enacted. The oldest fables describe stories of why crows are black or why different animals display different characteristic features, such as a sly fox, a dignified lion, and so on. The earliest fables came from Greece and India, while the oldest Western fables are normally accredited to Aesop's fables. Fairy tale is the next type of prose writing. Stories of kings, princes, poor farmers, or queens are not new to any one of us. They are generally guided by supernatural or magical events that fascinate us to get engrossed in them. These short stories are nothing but the fairy tales. They are distinguished by generalized characters without being individualized or localized. Thus, the names a king, a queen, a poor farmer, and a princess. Fairy tales begin with misfortunes graduating towards undergoing adventures and solving the mysteries, and ending in a happily ever after mode, thereby having a rewarding virtue. These stories often evolve around charms, magic, disguise, and spells. Hans Christian Andersen, who is Danish, Basile, who is Italian, the Grimm brothers, who are German, Perrault, who is French, and Kately and Kruker, who are English, are very well known to create some of the best and most famous collections of fairy tales. Biography is the next type of prose writing. The biography is a prose from which presents the history of a particular man's life. The Oxford Dictionary defines biography as history of lives of individual men as a branch of literature. It's a truthful record of an individual and hence differs from history. The examples of biography are Boswell's write-up, which is titled as Johnson, or maybe Carlyle's Sterling. Autobiography is the next type of prose writing. In an autobiography, the author writes the story of his or her own achievements. Its aim is to authentically present the biographical details in the period to which the author belongs in his or her own words. Examples of autobiography can be Mahatma Gandhi's My Experiment with Truth or Kamala Das' My Story. The elements of prose when discussed talks about the who, that is, character. Identify the who, what, where, and how in the prose piece enables the understanding of the passage. Whatever the category of prose, there are common elements such as one might as well begin with a character, that is who. The imaginative writing usually deals with the problems of personality and human emotion. Because readers are interested in the people of a work, their qualities, likes and dislikes, how they live, what they do, what they think, they are all interested in character in general. That is, the sum total of such traits. The major character in a work is usually the protagonist. The protagonist is the leading character or the principal figure, but he or she may be the antagonist also. By antagonist, we mean the one who opposes and actively completes another character. The main character is central to the action in prose. A hero, loosely speaking, is the main character. But in literary terms, a classical hero, a hero in epic or tragedy is a main character with special qualities. Because fiction involves happenings, characters actually do the things. Most often, interrelationships among happenings occur as a result of this main character. The next important element in prose is what. The what talks about the plot or the action or the story. The action of a story, the happening, is the plot. A literary plot consists of three parts: the beginning or the exposition, The author must present sufficient information about characters and situations for us to care about the outcome of the people involved. This portion, the beginning, introduces the relationships among people and the people as well as things. It also locates the story in the time and place. The next part of the plot is the middle or the body. The proof of the story or the happenings constitute the middle or the body. This involves conflict and complications. This section shows cause and effect, a necessary element for literature. It also contains such aspects like tension, suspense, reversal, and foreshadowing. The next part of a plot is end or conclusion. This must be a satisfying resolution of the events, problems, conflicts, etc. It need not be a happy ending many times, but it usually leaves nothing unresolved, unless this is an intent. So everything should be concluded properly. Maybe a happy ending, maybe a sad ending, maybe a comedy, maybe a tragicomedy, or a tragedy. Everything should be resolved. Whatever the conflict is presented from the beginning and in the middle of the body should be resolved by the end in the plot. The next part of a prose passage is where and when, which constitutes the setting. The reader should note how the author's handling of the details of place give or fail or give the illusion of reality indispensable to the creation of interest and sympathy. More important, the reader must consider whether the details of time, place, social milieu, emotional atmosphere are functional within the expression. Whether and how they contribute to the unfolding of happenings, to the representation of character, or to the achievement of the work as a whole is very important in determining the setting of the expression. The next interesting part of the prose passage is how. How does the poet achieve this using the appropriate style? The way the author achieves his purpose is a matter in part of style. Style is the characteristic manner of expression in prose or verse. How a particular writer says this? The analysis and assessment of style begins with an examination of a writer's choice of words, construction of sentences and paragraphs, indeed of every conceivable aspect of his language and the way he uses it. But it involves much more than this. In fact, style defines complete analysis or definition because it is the tone and voice of the writer. As readers, we often think we are interested in character or plot, but we are also influenced by the author's manner of speaking to us through his very distinctive style. In fact, it is the tone, the point of view, which are also important in making the style of it. So, in conclusion, prose is packed with point of view, narration, characters, themes, and plot construction that need to be understood, and only then the comprehension of the prose piece would be complete. Yes or no? Yes, this is important to make the prose piece complete. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you had enjoyed the session. Let's meet in the next video. Bye for now.